Hi, my name is Madison Fox, and this is my audience for my informative speech. I was born on September 16th of 1991. Now, obviously, I was just born that month, so I really don't remember many things that were happening in that point in time. And it probably wasn't until about 3 years later that I started forming my first memories. It isn't until people look back in previous years that they start to realize how many little things even have changed, especially from 1991 to 2015. And then it seems as if everything has changed from those periods of time. From movies and music to incomes and salaries, these are just a few things that have changed drastically. The president in 1991 of September was George H.W. Bush, and in later years, his son actually became president. And the average income was roughly $29,000 per household. And the rent of a house or even an apartment or anything along those lines was about $495 per month. Now in 2015, the average person makes about $25 an hour, which comes out to $850 a week, and then about $40,000 yearly. Now when you compare these two things, you really realize the difference in the value of a dollar from 1991 until now. And a few things also that show this were that in 1991 of September, a gallon of gas averaged about $1.12. And now I know that it is now $2.40 at this point in time. But over the past few years, I'm sure everybody even in my audience remembers that it has reached almost $5 just here in Michigan. And in other states, it's actually almost increased a lot more than $5. So that in itself is a huge change. A couple other interesting facts were that bacon in 1991 was about $1.95 a pound, and then eggs were about 85 cents a dozen. Now, these are just some necessities that obviously everybody needs food and everybody makes an income, but there are also other things other than that going on in September of 1991. There was movies and music. So the number one artist in September of 1991 was actually Bryan Adams. He was at the top of the charts, and the song was titled Everything I Do for You. And then along with him, there was a few other artists that were in the top 5 in September of 1991. There was Paula Abdul, Amy Grant, Lenny Kravitz, and then Roxette. Now this is a huge difference from today. That a lot of the artists, some of the top artists are actually like Nicki Minaj and Drake, which I know are some of my audience's favorite artists. And then I'm 23 years old, and I actually have never heard of half the artists that were the top artists in 1991. Like Amy Grant and Roxette, I have no idea who they even are. But I have heard of Paula Abdul, who obviously was on American Idol, and then there was Lenny Kravitz, who featured in the Super Bowl actually this year with Katy Perry. So I guess they're a little bit known today, but as for their music, I don't think that's something that they're known for here in 2015. Now, other than music, there was also movies, which is music and movies are probably some of people's favorite things. In 1991 of September, the number one movie was known as Child's Play 3, which I know, and I'm sure my audience also knows Child's Play 3 is Chucky. They probably didn't even know that that title was related to that, but if you say Chucky, I think everybody now would know what that was. And then there was also Beauty and the Beast, which I think we probably all saw as children. And then 2 movies that I had never even heard of were Fisher King and then also My Own Private Idaho. So those are just a few things that are interesting facts and necessities, like I said. And then some other things also were the cover of Rolling Stone was Sebastian Bach at that time, who was a classical artist. And then also the Jerry Springer Show debuted at that point in time. It's September 30th of 1991. Now, another important date that actually is important to us today, we all know it as 9/11 right now, but there were also a few other things that occurred on September 11th of 1991. They were also tragedies. 14 people died in a Continental plane crash in Houston, Texas, which was caused by a poor communication by their crew members. And then another tragedy that happened was an air crash in Saudi Arabia where a very large number of people died, which was 263 people. So other than tragedies, there was also many things in the sports area. There was the New York Yankees had their final game at the Baltimore Oriole Memorial Stadium. And then Nolan Ryan also had his 4-5 victory over the Twins. And then there were a few deaths that had occurred. There was Ernst Herbeck, who was a German poet who had passed away in that month. And then also Nelson Mandela became the president of the African National Congress. And then there was obviously September 16th, which was my favorite date, which was when I was born. And so these were just a few things that I learned over the course of researching this project. I'm sure I learned several things, and I hope my audience also did. Many things have changed, and I think that over the next 20 years, many more things will change also. And so I really appreciate my audience being here, and I want to thank them. So thank you so much.